Hello and welcome, my name is Bubba Fabes and welcome to episode 23 of In the Mind of a Player. This is the series where I go over my own gameplay, providing you guys tips and tricks that you won't find in any other kind of video elsewhere. So without further delay, here is episode 23 of In the Mind of a Player. Before I get into the tips and tricks on this video, I'm going to get a little bit more information on what I'll be talking about. As you can see, this video is from my stream. If you want more information about that, I'll leave it down in the information section down below, so you go ahead and you can read up on that. Follow me on that Twitch if you like, as well as this video is going to go paired really well with my latest guide. If you haven't seen it, you can either, again, find it down in the description below or click in that top right little icon that appearing on the screen right now, and that'll take you right to it. It'll help you understand and further explain some of the tips and tricks that I'll be going over in this video. Starting off in this video, we're going to be playing a defense route, and I'm going to be using Legion as my operator. There's a couple different playstyles that you can have with Legion, and I'll be talking more about those in a guide that I'll be releasing later. So if you're interested in learning more about Legion, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. That way you'll get notified when the guide gets released to give you that information. But for now, we're going to be doing the anchor kind of role for him, so I'll talk a little bit specifically more into that. With Legion, his goo mines are not really meant for damage. They do damage over time, but the real power that comes with these mines is the fact that you can see them through the wall, which gives us information. And in this game, information is power. This is going to allow me to not keep myself vulnerable holding angles, but be able to sit in a tight corner, just keeping my eye on the mines, giving me the information when one's destroyed. I know exactly where the attackers are coming from and exactly where they're going to sit. For example, one on the stairs there and one in the hallway. If I see the one in the stairs break, that's going to let me know that someone's there, and then I can just pre-fire it myself without risking my life holding an angle at the window over there. As well as another thing I want to point out here is the use of my shield. Since I'm an anchor operator, I'm not going to bring impact grenades. They're not going to be that useful to me, but by putting the shield there, it's going to allow me to peek not only over the top of these counters, but around the side too, and that's going to protect me from these other doors. Otherwise, if you peek around the side, you're going to be vulnerable by the other door, and you never know at what location the other operators are going to be. So now that we are set up, we're just going to wait, produce more goo mines, and again, now you see me throwing them more to the left side in that hallway, which again, doing the same sort of purpose. Is that way I just need to sit behind cover and keep an eye on the mines, and as soon as I see one destroyed, it's going to let me know when I can peek. So I'm pretty safe on the right side right now, but I see someone died further on the left. So instead of just sitting there holding an angle, I don't have enough goo mines to give me the full information that I want, so until I produce more, I'm just going to kind of bob up and down to kind of keep my eye on that section. As you get to a higher level, you don't want to stay dormant. You don't want to hold an angle in one place, because at a higher level, people pre-fire. They know where the common spots are going to be sitting, and that is a very common spot. If I just held an angle right there, someone's just going to turn the corner and pre-fire, and I won't be able to see them. And here's an example of that from an earlier footage. So I make my way into the building now. I don't know exactly where anyone else is, but I know a common angle that people will hold is on those stairs there. So I pre-fire that spot, and it turns out that's exactly where Pulse is. I don't get him on my first pre-fire, but I do on my second, and he doesn't have much of a chance. He isn't able to spot me right off the bat. You can see the difference between his return fire and my pre-fire, and it's just such an easy kill to get. So be careful just holding an angle like that against higher level players. So for that reason exactly is why I'm using the goo mines to provide that information for me that will allow me to know when the attackers come. That way I'm the one that's able to get that pre-fire and that peek on them rather than the other way around. And that's also why if I do want to get information, you see me snap up and never in the same section. You see me bob up to the left, then I'll change it up and I'll bob to the right. In that case, if I do see someone, they won't just pre-fire the same spot I peeked the first time, because chances are most people will re-peek an angle, and you never re-peek an angle. So you can see here my goo mine went off on the stairs, so now I'm just going to focus some pre-fire on there, changing up my fire locations, bobbing off to the right. So now I'm going to move it off and go to the left instead, and you can see just my head moving around a little bit, never staying in the same spot. I'm calling out the positions to my teammate, and I'm just trying to hold him at bay for now. Hopefully that my team is able to get an angle and just kind of protect some of my flanks. The timer is running out, so the attackers are going to be forced trying to push the way into this room, and I'm just trying to do my best to hold them off as long as possible to make it a little bit harder, but not making their shots on me easy. So again, just moving around and just pre-firing some of these angles. Now I can hear on my right that there's a sledge or something that's making his way into the room, as the object is contested right now. So I know he's there, but I'm not super worried about him. I'm still worried about that Blackbeard. It's going to be really hard for him to get that angle on me while I'm sitting in this corner. So I got to keep him occupied, take a couple shots at him as I wait for Blackbeard to round that corner that I saw him running to. That's that opposite angle that I'm expecting him to go at, because that's just kind of player intuition. One player has one angle, someone else is going to try to take a different one. Still keeping in mind that I'm throwing out my goo mines and just trying to bob back and forth between both shots. Blackbeard finally came around the corner right where I expected, so I was able to take him out in between, just snapping a couple shots to keep the other operator occupied so that he doesn't flank on me.
I'm completely at an equals.
So now being out of goo mines, I know exactly where he is and that he doesn't have much cover. This is going to allow me to just jump over the barricade, pre-fire some shots as he walks right into them, and it's going to give me that round. The key to playing Anchor is going to be patience, pre-fire, and just constant movement, not making the shots on yourself easy, and you're going to have time on your side. That's what's really going to work to your benefit, is that the attackers have to come to you. So be patient and use that to your advantage. So now we're going to be switching over to the attacking side, and I'm going to be playing one of the other new operators, Ying. Now with Ying's special ability, the Candela, which is basically just like multiple flashbangs inside of a grenade. With this, you can expel it two different ways. You can either throw it into a room, as it can also roll depending on how long you put the timer charge to it, or you can place it on a wall just like a fuse charge. The other gadget that I'm going to bring with her for this map is going to be the smoke grenades. You also have the option of the breaching charges, but breaching charges aren't that useful for this map and this site. So I'm going to use smoke grenades, and I'll show you later on exactly how I use smoke grenades, as they also got a buff in the latest patch, making them a lot better. The smoke is a lot more dense, making them much more useful to cover your own back. Jumping forward into my actual gameplay, my main focus right now is I'm looking to get into the geisha room, but before I do, I want to drone it out first, assess the situation. Is it possible to get in there? How many defenders are in there? Or do I need to change my plan of attack? So always drone ahead of you to figure that sort of stuff out, as well as drone the immediately instant access into that room just outside, because as I break this window, it's going to make a lot of noise, and if someone's just outside of the room, they'll be able to easily come into the room and then change that plan. So the window is broken down, and I'm going to reassess the situation. The room is still clear, and it's still accessible for me to get into. Now once inside, I'm going to hop back onto my drone and reassess the situation just outside of my location to give me knowledge whether or not someone's there for me to kill, or I need to be worried about a threat. Before I hop on my drone though, I hear bullets coming through the wall beside me, which lets me know that there's possibly someone on the stairwell to my right. Before I deal with that, I'm actually going to make a quick peek onto site and catch Frost off guard, and that's exactly why when I was on the defense in the first round, why I didn't want to have my head sticking out, because that's another one of the pre-fired spots that I'm expecting them to be. Hopping back on my drone, I can tell that there is no one back on those stairs. Pushing forward, I spot someone in the karaoke room next to me, which is going to give me the information to shoot him through the wall. As I pre-fire shots, I do get hit markers of possibly a shield or something else, but he fires back at me. Noticing that there is a window there and I didn't see him through the window, the other possibility, since I know he's in that location because he fired at me, I'm going to fire beside the window, and that's where I connect and get the kill on him. Keep in mind that some of these walls, they're concealment, not cover, which means it hides you visually, but bullets still travel through them. So if you ever know where someone possibly might be, send a couple bullets through the wall and you might just get lucky. So now moving on from that, I'm going to start looking for the last three operators, starting by droning out some of the common areas, the surrounding rooms and whatnot, to see if I can spot the next person that I can target. After looking around a little bit, not being able to spot anybody, I'm going to check out the room and see how many operators I can find in the room. I see at least 2, but not being able to fully drone it out. There's still one unknown somewhere that I have to be cautious about. Now again, just to re-go into the importance of not just sitting there holding an angle, or even the importance of not re-peeking the exact same spot, I'm going to use this next situation here. Hiding behind that half wall, again, is such a common spot. People are just going to pre-fire it, even if they don't see someone. So you'll see the way I peek this, just revealing little bits at a time, until I slowly make my way until I clear that part of the room, bobbing back and forth until I see Valkyrie. Knowing she's there, I'm going to pre-fire it once, but coming back, I'm going to pre-fire it at a lower angle, as she just pre-fires the exact same spot, so her bullets are going over my head because she's shooting where I was before. So keep that in mind when you go to peek. Change up your spot, change up your location, and don't be predictable. After killing her, I know that there's still one on site. The other one is missing, so this is where I'm going to use my smoke grenades. I'm going to protect my right flank, covering myself from the drum room and the stairs, which is going to stop anyone from being able to peek me quite easily from those locations, allow me to just focus on getting on site. And that's where I'm going to use my candelas, pre-flashing the site and pre-firing where I thought I saw someone earlier. Getting shot from behind, luckily he was already flashed, makes it easier for me to turn around and get a kill. Now I do end up getting shot from behind, but based on my information and my assumption is normally you don't have 3 people holding sight like that at the end. There was 2 people I spotted on my drone, so those are the 2 people I went after, the 2 spots that I pre-fired, and you can see I instantly spun around and pre-shot into the hallway, expecting someone to come up from behind through the smokes that I threw earlier on from drum room. It didn't pay off, but most likely than not, that's exactly what's gonna happen. Well guys, that is it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, let me know by leaving a comment down below and clicking on that like button. Again, for those who haven't already, don't forget to subscribe to my channel for more. I've got a lot more great guides, tips and tricks, and gameplay videos coming for you guys that I don't want you to miss. So until next time, my friends, have a great day.